All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is just going to be a quick warning, man, that you gotta never trust your enemy, man. You gotta watch yourself around Esau, because this video here that I came across is like it's like a behind the scenes footage of how Esau does these jakes in Hollywood, man, because they've got this guy around. There's drinking and alcohol and all that, right? And they've got promiscuous women around, and they're trying to, like, it's like they're trying to find something to try and get this guy Charleston White caught up on, man, which this guy's a demon anyway, right? And he scoffed against the Israelites. But then when he got mad with this guy, with this guy Aiden Ross, then he came out, because this guy is meant to be a so-called Jew and that, right? Then he came out and said, nah, really, Charleston White ended up saying that the niggas are the real Jews. He ended up saying that when he got angry with him, right? He ended up saying that then. And the more he would have been around it, the more these jakes end up around these guys, man, with all this money, the more they end up realizing what it really is anyway, man. They end up realizing, man, I think we are the Israelites, man. But then because they've did so much dirt now, they're like, well, I can't go back now, because I've lost my integrity. They already know within their spirit, or they're condemned in their own spirit, that they can't receive repentance no more. That's what they put on themselves, right? Because they end up doing something where they've defiled themselves in such a way that they're like, man, I can't repent no more. Let me get some scriptures, man. Like, this world is wicked, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart, right? We're oppressed, man. But getting around these rich people, right? Getting around these rich people that can give a $5,000 tip at a restaurant, right, can make you start to lose your integrity, right? Because they'll end up starting giving you some gifts, right? They'll start giving you some gifts. They'll sit you down. Like, if I recommend people watch this video, man, just a little bit, and you'll see how these Edomites, these men, they start talking about some GAY stuff, man, right? They're weirdos, man. They're naturally weird, and they want to try and find the person that's against that stuff the most, and push that stuff on them. And who's the person that's against that stuff the most? The so-called black man of the tribe of Judah in particular. That's the person on the earth with the strongest spirit. And I'm not even from the tribe of Judah, man. But the tribe of Judah is the people on the earth that have the strongest spirit, man. Right? And that's why it's a person from the tribe of Judah, Yahweh Shai, who's going to condemn this whole world, man, when he shows up. Judah's the top tribe, man. And that's why when Judah rises up, every other tribe rises up with him, man. Like, man, I've been waiting for this. Let me get some more scriptures. Like, this video, man, when he gets up from the table, after they start talking about all that alphabet and rainbow and stuff, all of a sudden now, they don't want to talk about it no more. As soon as he's not on the table no more, now they don't want to talk about that no more, because they want to try and push that stuff on us, man. That's what they're about. They want to try and defile us and make us be wicked. That's their pleasure, man, to make us demons like them. Let me get this. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So don't trust them, no matter how much gifts they give you. Don't trust them. And verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt find that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So he's always wicked, no matter what he's doing, man. No matter what the scenario, man. Esau is always wicked, man. He gave you a car, he's still wicked. He gave you £1 million contract, he's still wicked. Right? He gave you £2 million to make your movie, he's still wicked, because he knew that your movie was going to make way more than that. And now that money's his. And that's what happened to Ice Cube, man. When Ice Cube was making the movie Friday, which is a movie that damn near every Israelite that's grew up in a certain neighborhoods has seen, man. In every place of the world, most Israelites have seen that movie, right? It's a funny-ish movie and all that, right? It's a good movie, or if you want to say that, right? It's funny, right? But when Ice Cube was making that movie, he had 2 million, and he was going to put his own 2 million up, right? And the company that was part of the production of the movie, New Line Cinema, they was like, nah, it's all right, man. We'll put up the 2 million. and then we'll take a profit or the loss based on whatever happens. There's no point you putting up your money, right? And Ice Cube listened to them. The movie ended up having a budget of 2 million, but ended up grossing 300, right? Now, when I checked up Ice Cube's net worth is not even more, is like 160 million, it said on the internet, which is a lot of money. But the point I'm making is that his net worth would have been higher than that just from that one movie, because he's talented, right? Ice Cube's got talent. And he's made many movies of that kind, right? He's got talent. But they took his idea, pretending like, feigning like they're for him, right? But then at the end of it, they got a hell of a lot of profit for doing that, right? But they was always about tricking him and deceiving him. They knew the money was going to be worth loads more than 2 million. They knew. They was there the whole process of when it was being made. It was like, man, this is great. This is amazing. But they came with that snake spirit. Oh, we'll take the profit or the loss. Trying to probably talking in a way like, oh, this probably ain't going to do nothing. But they knew it would have. Because they know we've got the talent. They know we're the talent, man. If you take us out of this world's through. If you take Esau out of this world, that's paradise. When Esau's not in this world no more, the world's going to be a paradise. But if you take us out of this world's destroyed. And that's why when the Israelites are ruling, there's going to be no more war. But when Esau's ruling, when the wicked's ruling, the people mourn. But when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. Proverbs 29:2. This is verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Right? So that's what happened to Ice Cube, man. He set him by him. But when they overthrew him, they stood in his place. That's now they're claiming that as their movie. And now they get the profits off that movie. That's one example. But then there's all these Israelites that make all this music. They set Esau by them. But then now he's overthrown them and he's sitting in their place. He's got the rights to their music now, when it ain't his voice on there. Or if you go into a business with Esau, he'll come up with a way to put himself so where he's the owner. Because this is his world. He makes the laws on what's deemed as owning the property or not. Or what's deemed as owning goods or not. He makes the rules. This is his world for now. And that's why desiring to be too rich in this world is pointless, man. Now, that don't mean you just don't have no money. But if you're thinking about 7 figures and all that, mate, Esau's going to find your ass, man. He's going to get your ass. If you're thinking you're going to be sipping Chardonnay and living it up with a pinky ring and a gold, mate, nah. Esau's going to find your ass, man. That's his realm. Let me read this first, man. Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent or any of such come nigh wild beasts? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who shall pity? So I don't care about this guy being brought in front of these people and them trying to embarrass him, because he scoffed at the Israelites anyway, man. Like he's a scoffer. He's a scoffer, man. So of course he's going to be brought in front of these people. He rejected his own heritage, said, forget the Israelites. I can't stand the Hebrew Israelites, nigga. He said that. But then now he's in front of these LG freaks, right? Them just look at how they're looking at him and laughing at him like he's a clown. And he ends up getting up from the table, and he ended up admitting that he knew what was going on, because he's not as stupid as people say that he is. He knows what's going on in this world, but he don't care. He's like, man, I'm trying to get money, man. Fuck all that trying to be righteous shit. That's how he thinks. He's like, fuck righteous. Righteous don't pay the bills. That's the kind of mindset that he's got. And he knows that Jake's a wicked too, because Jake's run upon him. And that's why he keeps a mace container on him. That's why he keeps a damn flick knife on him. That's why he's got all these guns. He ain't even got that stuff really for Esau. He's got that stuff for 2/3 that try and roll up on him all the time. That's why he's burning out these rappers all the time, because he can't stand 2/3. But then he also can't stand the 1/3, because they're telling him to be righteous, but he don't want to be righteous. He wants to chase money. So he's caught in a trick bag himself anyway. Let me get this, man, because people don't understand that Esau will use these wicked women, that he's damn near, like, he's got women that he pays to try and trap rappers, man. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 24. Keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither take her, neither let her, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by the means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. And all these women that they try and bring these guys around, right? These two women that you can see on the side, these dumb OnlyFans broads and all that. They a lot of the times these women's jobs is to get a case on people, man. That's what I personally think, man. That's what I personally think is in Hollywood. I think they've got agencies that they don't speak about, right? This is me just saying this as a man, but I personally think this, man, that they have women out there that they own, and they say, I don't like this. I want you to put a case on this guy, get around him, get drunk, put a case on his ass, and if you have to even sleep with him in order to get this case on him, do it. I think that, man. But that's just me. But either way it goes, even whether that's true or not, it still happens, man. That these women, wicked women, are sent around men. So whether it's a person, an organization, nothing doing it, or whether it's these women that are sent from Satan to do these things, it still happens, man. And it's all based around money. All this food and all this stuff around, them women ain't paying for that. All these women that end up on these yachts and all these boat parties, they don't pay for that stuff. They're just there for the free ride, man. But when you're designed to be rich or be famous, that's the stuff that they're going to use to entice you with. That's the things they're going to use because they understand that a man... In fact, let me see if I can find that scripture. I was reading it earlier before I started doing this lesson. Let me see if this is the right place. Maybe it's 36 and 22. Here we go. Sirach chapter 36 and verse 22. The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man love nothing better. So these people in this world, they understand that men like beautiful women. So they'll find beautiful women or attractive women and they'll send them to men. They'll use that as part of their manipulations to trick men, man, into getting them to do things in this world, right? But then after that woman's been around them, they end up destroyed by that. Sirach chapter 13 and verse 2. Burden not thyself above thy power while thou livest, and have no fellowship with one that is mightier and stronger than and richer than thyself. So we ain't supposed to even be around these people with all this money, man. If you're around somebody and you're noticing that they're buying 500 pound plates of food, right? And you know that you can't afford that, you gotta reject that, right? You gotta leave that alone, man. Don't start thinking, oh, I'm finna come up in the world. No, the Bible warns you to not do that. For how agree the kettle and the earthen pot together? For if one be smitten against the other, it shall be broken. Exactly. And if a rich person has a problem with a poor person, in most of the time in this society, the poor person is going to lose, man. Because the rich person is going to overprice them and outrank them in this world with their riches, man. Verse 3, the rich man have done wrong, and yet he threateneth withal. The poor man is wronged, and he must entreat also. Exactly. If a rich man and a poor man get into a car crash, right? The rich man's gonna come out the car, you fucking idiot. Can't you fucking... Even though he's the one wrong. And the poor man will be apologizing, even though he was he was driving on the right side of the road, but the rich man actually swerved into his lane and crashed into him. He'll be talking about what are you doing in my lane? But the poor man's gonna be apologizing in that situation, man. Because this world is made for the rich, wicked man. Right? Verse 4, if thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. So this guy, this Aiden Ross guy, who's so-called Jew, he brought Charleston White around because he knows that Charleston White can get the views going. Right? Charleston White can if he acts a fool, can get 1 million views. And that's profit. That can bring attention around for whatever else this guy wants to push. Right? Because this Aiden Ross guy, he's known in terms of this social media goofball spirit that goes around, man. Right? He's known in that, oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, hit the Patreon, all that kind of stuff. That's his lane. Right? He's like that Kai Cenat, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, KSI. He's all in that kind of realm of that kind of that kind of spirit, man. He's in the same kind of realm as them guys, right? That's what they do. So a guy like Charleston White that just says outlandish things, he's a good person to be around for him. But when he can't use him no more, then he's gonna be like, nah, fuck him. He'll be like, fuck him then afterwards. If that be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Right? So if another guy can gain more attention comes around this guy, he'll reject Charleston White, or once he's got Charleston White to do something crazy so that he can make him look like an idiot on camera, once he's done that, he ain't gonna get in contact with him no more. He'll be like, fuck you. Unless, of course, Charleston White then gets a bit more clout, and then he can be like, oh, I'll use him again. So have him around again. Like he did, he did it. This guy did the same thing with Andrew Tate. He had Andrew Tate around him and all that, and he still gets in contact with this guy every now and again because he knows that that guy brings in views, right? But these guys are Edomites, man. We ain't supposed to be all happy up with these devils, man, because they're out to get you. Verse 5, if thou have anything, he will live with thee, yea, he will make thee bear, and will not be sorry for it. And we don't even have to use these celebrity examples because we can use it in a low-level example, man. If you're at work, you just started a new job, and some next Edomite from another country comes over, and they're working the same job as you, and it's some hard labor job, you already know how it goes, man. The foreigner Edomite from another country is going to be talking with you, oh, man, it's harsh, this job and all that, going to be talking with you, trying to pretend, he'll be calling you brother, yes, brother, and all of this, talking all that shit, right? And then as soon as he gets a promotion, or gets a job the same level as you, or snakes his way around to get a higher position, then you ain't gonna be talking to you no more. He ain't gonna talk. He's gonna make it like he never spoke to you, and like he started the job and was been working there before you, man. That's what he's gonna do, right? That's what he's gonna do, man. That's what these heathens do. They're not your friend. They're your enemy. They're your enemy, man. Verse 6, if he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? They took this guy when he was around him. They took him to get tennis shoes and all of this, right? They bought him shoes and all of that, right? And even said it in another video. Carson White said it in another video. He was like, yeah, they was taking me to buy shoes and all this. But I was like, man, forget them shoes. I don't wear no shoes like that. I was trying to watch them to see what I can use to try and increase my thing. So when they was trying to deceive him, he was deceiving them as well, right? So he understood how Esau is because he knows. But some Jakes don't end up not knowing, man. They end up not knowing and get deceived. Verse 7, and he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee twice or thrice. Ain't they at a table right now? Eating chicken, ain't that a table right there? Ain't there meats around, fruit, drink, alcohol, and all that food table, that big spread that he's trying to put on that food ain't shit to the guy that throw that. He eats like that all the time, whatever they're eating. That's nothing to him. He can do that 7 days a week, right? But he'll be boasting about, oh, this is this amount of bottle of wine, this wine bottles are worth this, because he's been like, well, you can't afford that on a regular basis, so he'll trick you with that, right? And one Jake in the background ended up coming to the table and eating from that food because they got his ass already. They got him around in the background, just being there in the side to do a little shuck and jive dance, right? And that same Jake that I'm talking about got exposed on another video with this guy, and he said he exposed him and said, "You've sent me a picture of your rod before, man." So what the hell are these Jakes doing behind the scenes? What is it that's happening in this Hollywood stuff that's got Meek Mill bouncing around on a tennis court doing bunny hops? That's got Kanye West holding a billionaire's plate, right, while he eats from it. He's holding the man's food in front of him so that he can eat from it. What's going on around here? What's going on? That little baby is getting hugged by two Edomite men, one on either side. What's going on? Exactly what I'm reading in these scriptures is what's going on. They're shaming these people with their meats, right? They're getting them around. They're getting info on them so that they can be like, well, oh, you don't want to do this for me. Okay, we're gonna show that footage of what you did that day. That's what they're doing, man. That's what the whole reason why they invite you around them is for, so they can have information to bribe you with and get you to do whatever they want to do to push forward their agenda, man. Verse 7, and he was shamed thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice. And at the last he will laugh thee to scorn afterward. When he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee, be like, look at this guy, man. That's what they'll do. They did it to Kanye West, man. Kanye West is a great example of how they do ya. R. Kelly is an example of how they do ya. DMX, all these Jakes, man. Once Esau's squeezed you out, you're through. And then you'll be thinking, man, I should have just been a Hebrew Israelite. I should have just read the Bible. And that's why a lot of you Jakes end up coming back to the Bible anyway. Kanye West did all this stuff in the world, selling weird crocodile foot shaped shoes and all of this. Did all this, you ain't got the answers, Sway, you ain't got the answers. Did all these albums, right? But then ended up talking about things in the Bible. DMX ended up doing all this rapping and all this stuff. But in his last days on earth, he was reading the Bible. He was reading the Bible, man. Verse 8, beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in idolatry. So you gotta watch yourself, man. Don't be around these demons, trusting these Edomites, thinking that these people are cool and that. And for these people that are trying to think they're going to be celebrities, this is their kind of examples. But for us, we have to watch it where our bosses or whatever might be like, oh, we're going to go for work drinks, man. Fuck you, work drinks. Oh, we're having a Christmas party. Fuck that Christmas do. Because you're really trying to see if you can get me drunk so you can make me do some weird old shit. So you can try and have an excuse for why I don't deserve now a promotion or whatever, or so that you can have some dodgy thing on me so you can try and use that, man. That's what they're really after to try and do. To try and get you to sin, man. Even in a low-level job, man. Even in a job that might just be average wage, man. They're out to get your ass, man. And that's why we can't be loving money out here, man. Because loving money is going to get everyone this anyway. Let me get this. This is what loving money is going to get you. This is what loving money is going to get you, man. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, right? We ain't no rich guys in this world. We're small in this world. But they want to try and make us, even the small, have this, right? As well as the great. Rich and poor, free and bond to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. They want everyone to take this charagma, man. They want everyone to take that RFID, C-hip. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma. So they want it to be where you can't buy nothing unless you've got this. Or the name of the beast or the number of his name. They want everyone to have this, man. They want everyone. So some people, when they understand this, they're going to be like, well, since they're giving it to everyone, I don't want to be small and have to have it. I may as well be great and have it. And since they're giving it to the poor as well, I may as well be rich and have it then. What's the point of me taking this if I'm going to still be poor? I may as well try and be one of the people that's rich. I'm going to have this. And that's what a lot of these celebrity jakes think, man. They're like, well, they've heard the agenda through the grapevine in their celebrity world. They're like, okay, so they're going to try and give it to everyone. But I may as well keep this money then. There's no point me being broke, considering the whole world's going to where they're going to do this. I may as well be rich and known and famous, since they're going to be doing it to everyone anyway. That's how they think, man. That's how these 2/3 celebrities think. And because they've been defiled and done all of this stuff to try and have all their money, they ain't going to ever try and make any other jakes go into that celebrity world without having to do the same things that Dave did or worse to get into a lower position than they are. So if they had to lick at Edomites' toes in order to get famous, they're going to make another Jake have to lick two Edomites' toes in order to get famous and be a B-list celebrity or C-list, man. To have one mixtape and get invited to one celebrity party. And then after that, he's cashed out, man. Because they don't want you to end up the same level as them. A Jay-Z with all the stuff, whatever he's had to do, He don't want another person to come through and get on Jay-Z level without having to do whatever he had to do. He want them to have to do twice as what he did, much as what he did, and be worse off. A P. Diddy type guy ain't gonna want you to you to be able to not do what he had to do to get famous. So fuck fame. Fuck the fame, man. Because they're gonna want you to do some wicked shit. And that's why, even to a certain degree, you have to say fuck Esau's money too. You have to have enough to be able to sustain yourself to a good enough level, man. And Yahweh ultimately does that anyway. So we don't need to be striving to try and be rich in this world, because Yahweh's got that under lockdown for us, man. And that's why we pray the Lord's Prayer. Give us this day our daily bread. And if Yahweh ever gives anyone a bit more on some occasions, then that's good. Like, people are gonna find out, man. People are gonna find out that Esau is a weird freak, man. And this video, when I was watching it, I was getting angry, man, because I could see what was going on. I could see the whole thing was about trying to get him to do some weirdo shit. And as soon as he stopped being around the table, right, they didn't want to talk about that stuff no more. So really, the whole conversation was about to try and play with him like he's a clown. Or I wonder what we can get him to do. These Edomites ain't happy just being wicked on their own. They want to drag everybody else down with them. Let me get a scripture on that to prove it, man. Esau ain't happy being the only one drunk. He's got to make everyone else drunk too. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. So he ain't happy just being drunk by himself, man. He ain't happy with that. He's got to see everybody else doing the same goofy shit that he does. And is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. So he's got to make sure that he can get everybody else to be as big of a demon as him, man. That's what he desires, man. That's his pleasure, man. Let me get this verse 2. This is the verse I was looking for. Verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor to drink, that putteth that bottle to him, and maketh him drunk also, that thou mayest lookest on their nakedness. That's what Esau loves to do, man. He likes to make everybody do something stupid so that he gets happy from that, man. He likes to look at their faces, man. Look at how they're looking at him like he's a stand-up comedian, bro. If you watch this video, you'll see they're doing snide remarks, snide comments, right? Laughing between themselves, doing little snippy remarks, just laughing at him, man. Right? To try and get him to do some dumb shit. And as soon as he leaves, all of a sudden now they don't want to talk about that stuff no more. And they're trying to call him back over. Oh, come back over. And now they ain't saying, they said come back over, but they wasn't saying the reason why. They were saying, come back over so we can laugh at you some more. You're our entertainment for the night. Come back over, man. And that's why you'll have these Jakes. You have a Meat Mills going in front of Jakes. And you can see this video on the internet. You have a Meat Mills dancing by an Edomite, and then the Edomite tries to wind up himself on his back and that. You'll see that. You'll have that. You'll have a Megan Thee Stallion being told to twerk. And then doing that, yeah, that stupid ass hood rat calling. The hood rat mating call, man. You'll have him do all of that, man. Anyone desiring to be rich, man, better take heed, man, because Esau is out there to make you have to do a hell of a lot to get an amount of riches that ain't really nothing, man. And that's why they put it out there more and more that, you have to make sacrifices in order to get rich. Oh, it's a hard industry. It's hard industry to get rich. You don't know how much I've had to give up to. Yeah, they'll say that because now they want even more wicked people to come in that ain't got no moral code, because they're trying to push things even worse than what they've been pushing before. And that's why when you look at the music lyrics, they're talking about eating batty. They're talking some madness, man. The death lyrics, they ain't even no metaphors no more. When they're talking about death, they're just saying straight up, I'll kick your nan's door off the hinges and I'm gonna murder everyone. That's the lyrics. That's the lyrics of drill rap. It ain't no metaphor and all this no more. They're like, nah, forget the metaphors. I'm gonna say exactly the details of the crime I just committed last week. I'm gonna say the location, the time I was there, his blood type. You know what I mean? That's what they're saying, and that's why these rappers are getting caught with their lyrics because they're just pushing this celebrity stuff. They want even more wicked people, man. They want the wickedest stuff. The wicked. They want the elect of wickedness. But I think I made my point, man. You better watch out for these Edomites, man. Any of you people designed to be celebrities, you better take heed, man. Because that fame life is just gonna end up with you being in a whole bunch of tears, man. And the Bible tells you to forget about that kind of stuff. Because if that world has got evil spirits attached to it, man. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So if you go to around the highest places in this world, where's that going to be? Is it not going to be where people have the most money? Is it not going to be where people have the most delicate and delicious lives, where there's the most finest hotels, finest eateries, all the delicacies? Is that not going to be where these places are? So among those places, that's where most of the spiritual wickedness is going to be, man. That's where that spirit of pride is going to be the most. Right? I'm going to end the video there, man. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Forget these demons of this world, man. Shalom to the elect. Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Makar Kwadash. And shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.